Hello, class. Welcome to week number 6, my hospitality purchasing students. And getting into the week 6 content here, before I get into it in terms of what you need to do to accomplish the action items for this week, I want to begin to talk about your final project that is due in the final week. So, as you know, if you're looking at D2L right now, we have technically 2.5 more weeks left in this course. Of course, there is going to be a spring break from the 7th to the 13th, and you will have that week off where there will be no requirements to complete any assignments or to log into D2L to be active within this course. That's going to be coming up in about 2 more weeks. But however, though, I want to begin to talk about the final project right now, and reason being is because you don't want to wait until the last possible minute to complete this project. So I made up, and this is really a continuation. I don't know, some of you all may have taken my cost control course as well, where the final project is centered around a restaurant called Quest Cuisine. Now, this is not an actual restaurant, it's a fictional restaurant, meaning the name. But as it relates, though, to this final project for this course, this is what you're going to be doing here, okay? And it's the purchasing process. So I just kind of want to go over this right now, and I recommend the class that you start working on this. As a matter of fact, what will really be beneficial is concluding week number 6, going into week 7, that you start working on this final project. You want to give yourself maybe about 2 weeks to completely for the completion of the project itself. So let's just kind of go through what's expected within this project. I'm going to go through the slides, and of course, the final project is going to be graded on a rubric, just like your other assignments have been for the prior weeks. So again, the scenario here is you are the manager of a restaurant. It's called Quest Cuisine. Now, the course, of course, has been centered around the purchasing process within the hospitality industry. This is your task. You are to ensure that within the purchasing process, you will meet quantity and quality in terms of measure within the restaurant. Here is what you're going to do. You're going to create a PowerPoint presentation, and you're going to be describing the information below as it relates to the areas of purchasing for Quest Cuisine. Now, I want to make this very clear. You got to keep in mind, you must use the name Quest Cuisine. Do not use any other name outside of that. The name has to be Quest Cuisine for this final project. So here's what you're going to do here. For slide number 1, that's going to be your title slide. You're going to include your name, the course name, and also the title will be Quest Cuisine Purchasing Process, as well as my name. You're going to have that on the title slide. Slide 2, I want you to give information about the type of cuisine you're going to specialize in. So, what type of restaurant? Again, it's going to be Italian, is it going to be Chinese, is it going to be American, seafood? What type of cuisine are you going to specialize in? Okay, so I actually just kind of named those restaurants here as they are given into the slide, and it's going to be left up to you on what type of restaurant it's going to be. So, slide number 3, moving on here. This slide, you're going to discuss if you're going to purchase in either a small to medium independent operation, or are you going to purchase in large operations? So, I want you to look at page 8 and 9, for example, in your textbook regarding your external sources. You can use the internet, but then also refer to the model on page 8 and 9 of the textbook in order to complete slide number 3. And going back to your external resources, you can use the internet, which you would definitely cite your references. Now, slide number 4, what you're going to do is you're going to discuss at least 6 quality requirements. So that could range from product specifications, receiving, employee roles, roles of vendors, packaging. So think about the quality requirements that we actually discussed within this semester. That's going to be slide number 5. Slide number 4, pardon me. Slide number 5 is going to be based on your quantity. And so your quantity is going to be, for example, inventory systems, purchase units, product usage rate, order periods, as well as yield calculations. Slide number 6, you're going to discuss how you're going to select your vendors. So remember vendor specifications, and we just covered this. And as a matter of fact, we've been covering this for the last few weeks. So reflect on terms. This is within the textbook, such as trade publications, electronic marketing information, also trade shows, along with reputation and vendor representatives. Just some examples that I put out there in terms of what you want to include in slide number 6. Slide number 7, what you want to do is you want to think about pricing decisions. So, an example here, are you going to purchase steaks by the case and the quantity count of steaks? How many are you going to expect to be within each case in terms of quantity counts? So the pricing decision is to be made by comparison with one vendor who's offering those cases of steaks compared to another vendor. And then think about terms such as cash on delivery. We just covered that last week, as well as negotiations and purchase units. Slide number 8. In this slide, what you're going to do is you're going to discuss at least 4 examples of effective procedures. So the procedures are going to play a part of the purchasing process, and also how are you going to conduct business with your vendors as well as execution. Slide number 9 is going to talk about the ethics, okay? We all know what ethics are as it pertains to business. You're going to discuss the ethics of purchasing as well as vendor relations. And then I also do kind of rephrase that within the slide, how ethics is related to sound business practices, as well as add on to the reputation and also credibility. And then slide number 10, you're going to talk about how you're going to maintain receiving. Okay, are you going to barcode your inventory? Discuss how you're going to execute audits. Okay, what about financials? What about memos of credit? So you want to show a ledger of breaking down each product type, quantity, as well as the total amount that's spent on each itemized product. And so what you want to do is you want to copy and paste an Excel spreadsheet in this slide showing the breakdown of every list. That would be slide number 10. And then, of course, slide number 11 will be a reference page, including the websites that you did for research. And then also citing the textbook, you want to cite that as well. Okay, so just a reminder here, okay, we're looking at the minimum of 12 slides in addition to the title and the reference slides. As a matter of fact, it's a minimum of 11 slides. That's what you want to do. So I just wanted to kind of cover the final assignment or the final project that's going to be due the final week of this course. Okay, and this is for everyone to get a jump start on right now or within the next upcoming week. So with that being said, I don't want to hold you for too much longer in this discussion. We're going to talk about what's due this week as we are in week number 6. We're going to talk about product ordering. We're going to talk about the process of it. So in so many words, how are you going to order your products from your vendors, and how are the delivery methods going to be in terms of receiving shipment of these products from the different vendor types. You want to also discuss and talk about and just kind of think about how technology is going to have an impact within your ordering process. And then you also want to cover the basic steps within the ordering process as well. And so just as I've done, I've provided a lecture here where everyone can read, and then you can also look at the PowerPoint slides that are pertaining to this chapter as well if you go to required course materials, which is going to lead, just like every week, your discussion posts are going to be due on Thursday nights. You will do your discussions. And then, of course, what your main assignment is going to be due for this week, for week number 6. Let me go back here. You're going to talk about what you're going to do is put together a purchasing requisition spreadsheet. Now, what I want everyone to do is refer back to page 153 of your text when it comes to putting this purchasing requisition together. All right, you're going to keep the name of the restaurant that you've been using for your assignment the previous few weeks. That's going back to weeks number 2, 3, 4, as well as 5. And you're going to create this purchasing requisition in the form of a spreadsheet. Now, it's relative to keeping inventory within your establishment as well as controlling overhead costs. So, what I want everyone to do when it comes to putting this spreadsheet together is to follow page 153 of the text in terms of completing this assignment. And you will submit it in a Excel spreadsheet, okay? No other document. I'm looking for an Excel spreadsheet for this assignment. And that's going to be due on Saturday night, next Saturday, March the 4th. Okay, everyone. So we have covered the final project that's going to be due the final week to conclude the semester, as well as what's expected for you in terms of week 6, which is going to be starting tomorrow, Monday, February the 27th. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Send me an email. Of course, again, these are my contact hours to be reached by phone and text that you're seeing right now. Okay, everyone. This is Professor Javier Black wishing you the best for the new week.